Welcome to Profit Channels. This is my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor and I don't give financial advice. Please consider this video entertainment. Today I'm talking about DaVita Inc., currently at $130. Today is September 18th, after markets have closed. No dividend, 12.79 price to earnings ratio, 10.42 earnings per share. We look at the net revenue quarterly and annually. It's pretty steady. It's dialysis and other ancillary services. If you're not familiar with DaVita, so dialysis and other services. If I look at their cash flows and their debt, there is a bit of debt, which I don't prefer, but we do have cash flows on the quarterly and the annually. This is the annual income statements, and we were at $12.82 billion in revenue, which looks like a record, except for 2015, it was 13.78. But I mean, in recent history, that's a record, and our trailing 12 months is 13.16, even higher. Our gross profit is $3.49 billion, which is a recent high, and the trailing 12 month is even higher. Let's drop down to net income at $936 million in 2024, which is the best since 21. But our trailing 12 months is down a little bit, but real strong income. Let's look at the balance sheet. So at a high level, if we look at these charts, our total assets, I mean, year over year, we're at 17.62, almost up to 18 with this December 2024. So this is not bad. It's the little right now, 2024 is higher than the last few years. But liabilities are also as high as they have been. So I don't like that. And equity is down. If we look at forecasts, you've got 11 analysts, 1 strong buy, 9 hold, 1 sell, and anywhere from plus 5% to plus 42%, real neutral. If I look at the monthly DaVita, DVA divided by S&P 500, we have this giant monthly channel that started back here. Our points of control are both above where we currently are at. But let me get rid of those. Okay, so we have this nice channel. You know, we've got touches right here and here. Our midpoint line looks pretty good. We are bouncing off our midpoint line right now on a monthly and are below all our moving averages. And this is a pretty interesting point right here. You can see this line. It was resistance, and then it's been support. Broke through it there, but support. So you know, we could go down further, but right now we're bouncing off this midpoint line. Here we are on a monthly scale, just DaVita itself, logarithmic scale, monthly chart. And we've got this midpoint line that hasn't been a thing in play for quite some time. But this is the 2000 crash where it went from $10 down to $1, which that's a 90% drop. We've been bouncing across the top here and now have broken down off the top, but we're still seeing higher lows. I have this line right here. On the monthly, let's look at this on the weekly. It looks better. So it was resistance, essentially resistance. And then we broke through, and it's been support, and here again, that's support. On the weekly, we can look at a couple channels. We have this channel, which is a nice channel. We've got a good midpoint line. We got some touches on the tops and the bottoms. Again, this good midpoint line. And here we are, broken down below the midpoint line and coming off this area of support. But I could also draw this most as easily a channel like this that also has a lot of touches in a strong midpoint line. So this can kind of be done two different ways. We jump down here into the daily. We see this big gap above us that I assume wants to fill. That's a pretty big gap. And we're running in a channel, something like this, with a pretty good midpoint line. And we're bouncing off this midpoint line right here. That midpoint line is pretty interesting as well. So that's our channel, and this could be a cup in a handle, and then it could really drop down. We have this gap down here, but this could also be a giant double bottom. Hard to tell. Okay, let's go into shorter time range and look at these trend lines. So this is the 2 hour, and so we were banging up this trend line and we broke it, moved sideways, and now we're banging down this trend line and we're threatening to break it. If I go into even shorter scale, so this is 30 minutes. Here we are on this trend line, and we have this gap down here. So it'll be interesting to see if we come down to fill this gap tomorrow on Friday. Back to the weekly or the monthly. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Trend line, parallel. And look at our moving averages. So on the monthly, we've been banging off this 100 and are above all of our moving averages. And the monthly candle is pretty negative, bullish right now. On the weekly, we have crossed over the 100, and again, bouncing off this point, maybe going to test the 100 again. On the daily, we've got the 50 crossing over the 100 in a bearish looking way. And if I go down to, let's say, a 1 hour, we are threatening the 50, but nothing too serious quite yet. Again, I want to see us break this line. Let's get rid of these moving averages, go to the weekly, and I'll do a giant extension from the bottom here to the top there. And we are right at the 382. The 236 looks strong. It's a good looking fib lines. If I do an extension from the bottom to the top to the bottom, this is 382 where we were at the top. This 236 looks good. So I like this fib extension. If I jump down into the daily charts, let's do 4 hours. And I do a retracement from, so this is the last run up before we hit our top. So the bottom here to the top here. We are right at a 1618 fib retracement with good lines all the way through. If I put that away and I do an extension, and let's go down to a shorter time frame. Okay, so I'm doing the extension from the bottom, the short term. We're on a 30-minute, so this is pretty short term. So this bottom here to the top, back to the bottom, we have these real pretty, need to have this that far out, these fib lines cutting through. And if I look, it's like this 1.272 is real sharp. So real nice lines. So I think that we are at the bottom. I'm hoping to fill this gap. Yeah. Here's the 2 hour. It looks bearish. I'm out of time. Thanks. Here's the monthly parabolic SAR in super trend. And the super trend is bullish. The parabolic SAR is bearish. RSI is bearish. MACD is bearish. Stochastic is bearish. On the weekly, it's bearish all the way around. Everything is looking bearish. On the daily, we're starting to show some signs of life. Stochastic is starting to come up. The MACD is getting closer together. RSI is threatening to cross over, but still pretty bearish up here. If we drop down to the 1 hour, we have mixed signals between the parabolic SAR and our super trend. Our RSI is looking like it's ready to start moving up. Our MACD is crossed over to the positive side, and our stochastic still has room to run. To the monthly Bollinger Band, we are back inside the Bollinger Band. We've been outside of it quite a bit. Money flow, everything here on the monthly is bearish. On the weekly, we're approaching our moving average inside the Bollinger Band, but everything is still pretty bearish down here. Not finally, but next, the daily. We're underneath our moving average in the Bollinger Band. Money flow is coming up. Squeeze momentum is still bearish, and ADX is saying no trend. And if we come down to the hourly, we've got a positive signal. We broke the bottom of our Bollinger Band and are headed up. Money flow index is up. Squeeze momentum is about to go bullish. And our ADX is still saying no trend. But again, I'm hoping to fill this gap and maybe get in here. I hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Talk to you later.